For the rest of your life, your goal should be to make as much money as possible, become financially independent, and finally become a millionaire. This is what most people want to achieve, and it's easy to do if you form the right habits. The best news is that it has never been easier to become a millionaire. This is because the economy is growing faster than ever. In 2017, more than 10 million people became millionaires, and almost 536 people became billionaires. Most of the millionaires and billionaires in the world today are first-generation wealthy, which means they have worked their whole lives to get where they are. Millionaires come from a wide range of places. Some of them have had great educations while others have not. There were people who finished from top universities and people who dropped out of high school. One thing they all have in common, though, is that they have all made more than the magic $1 million mark by being determined over and over again. They have learned and used the habits that the rich use. The people who have become millionaires have been asked hundreds or even thousands of times, both one-on-one and in groups. Some of the best research on millionaires was done by Thomas J. Stanley and William Donko. Their book, The Millionaire Next Door, which has sold almost 3 million copies, is a summary of their work. These days, it seems like every newspaper and magazine has a story about someone who got rich by doing certain things in a certain way. You can also do what other people have done if you know how. 2, think like a millionaire. You become what you think about most of the time. If you really want to be wealthy, achieve your financial goals, and retire as a millionaire, one of the smartest things you can do is develop the thinking and acting habits that have helped hundreds, thousands, and even millions of people become millionaires. These habits of financial success can be learned, just like other habits, through practice and repetition. The first thing known about the thought patterns of millionaires is that they have the habit of thinking in terms of financial independence most of the time. From a young age or from a certain point in their lives, they have focused on achieving specific financial goals. They then discipline themselves to make any necessary sacrifices to reach those goals. They organize and coordinate their entire financial life, income, investments, insurance, and expenses in a way that helps them move toward those financial objectives. 3, save money or spend it. The way most people handle their money is contradictory. Most people don't think about building up their wealth, saving, and becoming financially independent. Instead, they think about spending and enjoying every euro that comes their way, as well as taking money from friends or credit cards. Between 600,000 and 800,000 Americans file for bankruptcy every year because they borrowed and spent more than they could return. We all come to a fork in the road at some point. There are 2 paths. One leads to making money, keeping it, and building it up. The other leads to making money, spending it, and getting into debt. Now that you're an adult, you need to choose which way to go. You are free to choose the path you want to take from now on, no matter what road you've taken so far. 4, take control of your financial life. The starting point for achieving financial independence and becoming a millionaire is to take full responsibility for your financial life. Many people never do this and instead spend their lives relying on luck, hoping someone will come to their rescue. They buy lottery tickets, gamble, and think they might make a fortune in the stock market. Meanwhile, they constantly worry about money. It's true that large sums of money are not earned instantly. Almost all wealthy people organize their financial lives in such a way that their net worth increases by 8% to 10% per year over the amount of money they have worked for. They don't look for schemes to get rich quickly or easy money. They are patient, persistent, and forward-thinking. They impose the discipline of saving and accumulating money year after year. They don't speculate, take risks, or seek quick ways to make money. Thanks to their habitual thinking about their money, their wealth increases each year. In the end, they surpass the $1 million mark and usually continue to surpass it. 5, think like a millionaire. The business thinker Jim Rohn said, "Becoming a millionaire isn't hard, but it's not the most important thing either." The person you become is the most important thing about becoming a millionaire. Building up $1 million is a great idea. If you want to be rich, you need to change the way you think about money. A normal person worries about money most of their life. If you want to reach your financial goals and keep your money, you will need to change everything about your character, personality, and habits. A financial expert once told me that making your first $1 million is very hard, but making your second $1 million is almost certain to happen. If you can save up at least $1 million, you will be able to make the next and third millions as well. If bad things happen and you lose all your money, you can get it back fast because you will have become the type of person who can become a millionaire. You will always be able to do that once you become that kind of person. 6. The first habit of millionaires, perhaps the easiest habit to identify among millionaires, is frugality. Wealthy people are careful with their money, allocate their funds wisely, and invest after thorough deliberation. They never buy new things if they can buy them used. Never rent if you can borrow. As the English proverb says, if you take care of the pennies, the pounds will take care of themselves. According to Stanley and Danko, most millionaires don't buy new cars. They wait until a good quality car is 2 years old and then purchase it. Even then, they have a good mechanic inspect the vehicle thoroughly. Once they are sure it is an excellent purchase and in good condition, they buy the car and insure it with a 5-year warranty. 5-year. They then drive it for 5 to 10 years before replacing it. The value of new cars drops by 20% as soon as they leave the dealership. After 2 years, almost all cars have lost between 31% and 50% of their value, but they are still in excellent condition and covered by the factory warranty. When you buy a good used car, you save thousands of dollars that you can invest and grow with compound interest toward your goal of financial independence. 7. Don't spend your money. As kids, people who have become millionaires learn to save money and spend it. It was written by the rich man W. Clement Stone, "If you cannot save, you do not have the seeds of greatness within you." The Richest Man in Babylon, a best-selling book by George Clason, says that the key to making money is to pay yourself first. He says that while you are working, you should save at least 10% of your cash before you pay for anything else. People tend to stick to routines. We quickly adjust to whatever is going on around us. If you save 10% of your paycheck and get used to living on the other 90%, you will soon be able to live on a slightly lower amount of money and be happy with it. You won't have to worry about living at this new level for long. It will become a habit. It's hard for many people to save 10% of their salary because they have so much debt. They don't even think about it. In these situations, I suggest a slow approach. Start by saving 1% and live on the other 99%. Say you make $2,000 a month. Start saving $20 a month, which is $0. 67 a day. You will get by with the last $19.80. Open a different account at the bank. This will be your budgeting account. That account's money can only go in one way. You can't use or spend that money again after putting it in that account. Its only purpose is to help you become financially free as quickly as possible. Raise your savings to 2% once you're used to living on 99% of your pay. You will be able to live on 90% of your current income after a year. Keep doing this until you have saved 15% to 20%. Because the changes will happen slowly, you won't even notice them in your daily life, but the changes in your finances will be totally amazing. 8. Take full control of your financial life. Once you have developed the habit of thinking more carefully about your income and savings, you will find that you spend less and less. You will start to pay off your debts and avoid incurring new ones. You will begin to delay or defer expenses and eventually stop buying those products. Meanwhile, the habit of saving money from your paycheck will cause your bank account to grow. After a year, you will have a few hundred euros. In a couple of years, you will have a few thousand. After 10 to 20 years, you will have several hundred thousand or even a million. As your account grows, develop the habit of adding any unexpected sums of money you receive to that account so it grows even faster. If you sell something from your home, get a bonus at work, or receive a tax refund, instead of spending that money immediately like unsuccessful people do, put it into your account. 9. Make the law of attraction work for you. This is a truly amazing find. You can start to attract more money into your life and bank account when you start to save it. This is because saving money makes you feel good and happy because your account is growing. Friends will repay what they owe you. There will be chances for you to make extra money that you didn't have before. You'll get rid of things you've had for a long time because you didn't think they were worth anything. Putting those amounts of money into your account will also bring you more money and good vibes. This idea had been around for a long time, but I was always broke and couldn't seem to get out of my position. I started my own business after getting married, but it failed after about 2 years. I saved up for a long time and used it to buy a house, but now I need to sell it to get cash. Barb, my wife, asked me to give her $10,000 from the sale of the house when we moved into a rental house. It took a while, but I finally agreed. She took the money and put it in a different bank account that I couldn't get to. We had a lot of money problems over the next few months, but she never let me spend that money. It was her pillow. After that, something amazing happened. From then on, I never lost all my money again. We never ran out of money, even though the economy was bad and businesses around us were closing. We got new company every week or month, paid our bills, and were able to move on to other exciting things in our lives. After a few years, we were able to move out of the rental home and into a lovely home in a lovely area. After 2 years, we bought a house on a golf course with views of 2 lakes and the sea. It cost 5 times as much as the first one. 10. Learn to enjoy saving your money. There is a special habit that financially successful people develop over time, which is the habit of managing the money they earn in a particular way. As we grow up, we are encouraged to save as much as we can. However, as children, we see money as a tool with which we can buy candies, toys, and other things that make us happy. Consequently, we start to think that saving is like a punishment, something that hurts and deprives us of candies, toys, and a lot of pleasure, satisfaction, and happiness. Since a basic human motivation is to move from pain to pleasure, from discomfort to comfort, from dissatisfaction to satisfaction, many people develop the habit of associating spending with fun and saving with unhappiness. As adults, this habit manifests in our desire to spend money as soon as we earn it. Many young people view their paycheck as an opportunity to go out and spend as much money as possible. This is why restaurants are often crowded at the end and beginning of the month when people have just been paid. Your job is to reverse this habit, to disconnect the cables of a set of attitudes and reconnect them to a different set. You will need to start thinking in terms of pleasure whenever you think about saving and accumulating money, and in terms of pain whenever you think about spending and parting with your money. If you think about a feeling too much, it will get stronger, like a fire that you keep feeding. As you think about how much fun it is to see your savings and investment account grow, you will be more driven to spend less, save more, and see that account grow quickly. Instead of thinking about how much money you have left over to pay your bills at the end of each month, look at how much money has been added to your bank account. A lot of wealthy people think about their problems in terms of the happiness and satisfaction they get from saving, investing, and getting richer. Many people who are poor, on the other hand, find it more enjoyable to plan how they will spend their money as soon as they get it. 11. Pretending to be rich or being rich. Stanley and Danko in The Millionaire Next Door explain that many millionaires drive used cars, live in average neighborhoods, wear moderately priced clothes and watches, and are very careful with their money. Furthermore, very few of them spend their money on boats, luxury cars, vacation homes, private jets, or expensive vacations. Stanley and Danko point out that there are those who pretend to be rich and those who truly are. You should be one of those who are truly rich, rather than those who spend large sums of money but have barely anything saved in the bank. People with great wealth develop the habit of becoming rich gradually rather than becoming rich quickly, and they follow 2 rules about money. Rule number 1, do not waste money. Rule number 2, if you ever feel tempted, go back to rule number 1. Rich people spend much more time thinking about their finances than poor people. An average adult spends between 2 to 3 hours a month thinking about their money, usually when paying bills. In contrast, a millionaire spends between 20 to 30 hours a month thinking, studying, and planning their finances. Since simply thinking carefully about your money drastically improves the decisions you make regarding it, people who invest more time in planning their finances invariably make better decisions and achieve better results. 12. If you want to get rich, use the wedge theory. Parkinson's law, which was created by author C. Northcote Parkinson, says that costs rise to match income. This means that as your income goes up, so do your costs, so that your income is used up. No matter how much money you make, your costs will always rise until they take up all of your income and even a little more. Over time, you get used to spending all of the money you earn or receive. This is something I sometimes ask. What if you could wave a magic wand and make 2 or 3 times as much money? Would that solve your money problems? After that, I look at their faces while I wait for them to speak. People smile, raise their hands, and say yes almost right away. Everyone says that they would no longer have money problems if they could double or triple their current income. After that, I ask, has anyone here made 2 or 3 times as much money since they started working? Most of the people raise their hands after a short pause. From their first job, everyone has made 2 or 3 times as much money now. Many of them have even made it 5 or 10 times bigger, and it still doesn't work. Even though they have Parkinson's law, they still have money worries and are in debt. Costs go up to balance out income. When you ask someone to save some of their current income, they almost always say that they wish they could, but can't. People who want to save some of their current income would have to move to a smaller house, drive a smaller car, eat cheap food, and go out less. Individuals are habitual, so even if they understand that saving money is a good idea, giving up their current level of comfort seems so unacceptable that they can't bring themselves to take the first step. Now, the wedge theory is not the same. You don't want to lower your current standard of living, so you decide to start saving 50% of every raise you get today. This is possible because that money isn't yet part of your daily costs. It is much easier to commit to saving money you haven't yet received than to decide to save money by cutting your current standard of living. To be rich, you need to develop the habit from today of saving 50% of these future increases. You can continue spending the remaining 50% on whatever you like, but you must commit to saving half of the money you don't yet have. It shouldn't be difficult. Depending on your age and the rate at which your income grows, if you save 50% of your increases in the coming years, you will soon have a substantial sum of money. And the more money you save, the more money you will attract to yourself. If you discipline yourself and develop the habit of saving half of your increases throughout the rest of your career, you will be able to pay off all your debts, amass significant wealth, and ultimately become financially independent. 13. Get rich. Slowly. It's common for newspapers and magazines to print about people who quickly become very wealthy through the stock market, business, fame in the entertainment industry, or an invention. This is, however, because quick financial success is not common. A lot of big riches are made over time. They are based on the idea of compound interest, which has been called the universe's most powerful force. Because of the slow, steady growth that comes from compound interest, 99% of millionaires have built up their wealth over a long period of time. If you spend your euros wisely and keep them safe, they can grow by 5 to 10% every year. This means that as your money grows, it keeps growing. Stanley and Danko say that it takes the average millionaire 22 years to get $1 million. As soon as they start to think about their money seriously, they slowly become rich by making more money, saving more of it, and spending it wisely so that it grows over time. Do the same thing. 14. The pursuit of happiness. Philosopher Aristotle asserts in his Nicomachean Ethics that the ultimate goal of all human life is to achieve personal happiness. Being financially independent as a result of developing millionaire habits is a magnificent goal, but it is not the most important thing. The most important thing is the person you become in terms of courage, character, seriousness, and persistence. As a result of being financially successful over a long period of time, you will feel truly happy and satisfied with yourself and with other aspects of your life. This is the most valuable goal.